Coming up on The World today, EndSARS protests take a violent turn in Edo State after hoodlums allegedly free some prisoners from the medium security correctional center in the state capital. France police raid homes of dozens of suspected Islamic radicals following the beheading of a teacher in Paris. And Belgium's health minister warns that the country could soon be overwhelmed by the new coronavirus infections. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Joke Rogers. We begin in Edo State today in southern Nigeria, where the EndSARS protests have taken a violent turn after a group of people who are said to be hoodlums freed some prisoners from the medium security correctional center on Sapele Road in Benin City, the state capital. This comes after protesters practically shut down Benin, lighting bonfires and grounding vehicular movement. Following the prison break, the state government has imposed a 24-hour curfew across the state.
Images of fleeing prisoners from Benin Correctional Center on Sapele Road invaded this morning by alleged hoodlums.
See that freedom, freedom.
They are said to have hijacked the EndSARS protests in the city, unleashed violence on residents, and allegedly burned 3 police stations in different locations. The state government confirms the attack on the city, as a special advisor to the governor on media, Krusu Osage, says not less than 10 inmates are on the run. He describes the situation as unwarranted as government imposes a 24-hour curfew across the state. The curfew takes effect from 4 p.m. October 19, and this decision, according to government, follows the incidents of vandalism and attacks on private individuals and institutions by hoodlums in the guise of EndSARS protest. In other parts of Benin City, thousands of youths set up bonfires on major streets and highways, preventing residents from going about their daily endeavors.
And in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, police dispersed EndSARS protesters using tear gas. The protesters were intercepted on John Kennedy streets as they attempted to march through the back gates of the presidential villa. Clear visuals you saw there were of soldiers mounting checkpoints on some of the roads in Abuja.
Tear gas, now you take play. Tear gas.
And so for the third week running, protesters held sway in different parts of the country, seeking an end to police brutality, insecurity, and a growing list of issues. In Lagos today, youths cordoned off Ojodu Berger axis are joining the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. They equally cordoned off the commercial area of Allen Avenue, cutting off access to the Opemi area. Several roads were equally blocked around the Alausa area, which is where the government house is situated. Our correspondent Dari Joe joins us on the program for an update. Apologize, I believe Dari is not quite ready to give us that update, but we will track him as he takes a look at what's going on around Ikeja, and we hope that he will give us that update before the end of the program. In the meantime, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has sworn in a 7-man judicial panel of inquiry and restitution to investigate cases of brutality and human rights violations committed by operatives of the dissolved Special Anti-Robbery Squad in the state. The panel, which is being headed by retired Justice Doris Okwobi, will sit for 6 months and is mandated to thoroughly investigate all verifiable claims of abuses and fatalities arising from SARS engagement in the state, with the objective to bring erring officers to justice and, of course, get compensation for the victims, which is one of the demands of the protesters. Governor Sanwo-Olu says he believes the panel members will do their job judiciously, adding that dedicated phones and email judicial panels on SARS at lagosstate.gov has been opened for the judicial panel to aid its work. Let's take a look at some other news, staying with the insecurity issues and protests by Nigerians, but this time outside of the country. Nigerians living in South Africa under the aegis of the Nigerian Citizens Association have been marching through the streets of Johannesburg to add their voice to the agitations against crime in that country this time. This comes as a series of marches by South African citizens have been held in protest against crime they claim are being carried out by foreign nationals.
The protest by the Nigerian Citizens Association Gauteng chapter follows a protest by locals last month who accused Nigerians of being part of a string of crimes in South Africa, which was taken to the Nigerian High Commission in Pretoria. These Nigerians say they too are standing against crime by any citizen of any country. They handed a memorandum to Brigadier Nebulbulu Stanley of the Hillbrow Police Station, who met them at the Peter Rose Park, where they gathered.
The good Nigerians are not happy that very few bad Nigerians are giving us bad image. And we are here to show South African government through the police that we are against them. We do not condone it, and we will support them to fish them out and make sure that the law takes its course.
When we deal with crime holistically. We don't say, no, this is Nigerian, and the criminals don't discriminate. We want more people to get involved. We've got structure as the community policy. Correct. From my local police station, I want to open a desk where we know that there's somebody from the Nigerian community, because sometimes we can't talk the language. Then we want somebody who will be there in the structure so that he can be able to assist to break that barriers.
Meanwhile, in Pretoria, the group tagged Put South Africa First have also taken to the streets, demanding an immediate deportation of illegal foreigners. They also want the government to put an end to the issuance of essential work permits to foreign nationals and applying citizens first policy into the labor market. That last bit is incidentally already in place. We asked what they thought about the anti-crime march by the Nigerian Citizens Association.
To us, it was very convenient that they had a march a day before ours. Why were they quiet all along? If they were not all like that, why did they not speak up when they knew we had a crisis in the country?
The group marched from Church Square, Pretoria Central, to the Department of Home Affairs, where they handed over a memorandum of demands to the department's official, Hancock Suleiman, who they initially rejected, insisting his surname, Suleiman, meant he is not South African till he proved that he was indeed one.
Immigrants should never allow to operate informal training such as saloons, spazas, selling vegetables, which are reserved for locals only.
A similar memo was presented at the Department of Labour, and the group says the fight will continue. From Pretoria, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
Elsewhere now, police in France have raided the homes of dozens of suspected Islamic radicals following the beheading of a teacher who showed controversial cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad to his pupils. Some of those being questioned are believed to have posted images and messages of support for the killer of Samuel Paty. The government also says it's probing 51 French Muslim associations. Mr. Paty's suspected killer was shot dead by police on Friday after the attack close to the teacher's school. Let's get back to our top stories on the program. The EndSARS protests taking place across Nigeria. We did tell you that major routes across the Ikeja area of Lagos State, the commercial capital of Nigeria, were blocked today. And our correspondent, Dare Ido, has been monitoring all day long, caught up in some of the traffic himself. Dare, a long day it's been. I'm sure everybody's exhausted, including workers, commuters who've been in their cars for most of the day, stuck in traffic. Horrific situation. Give us the latest.
We're sitting here at the House of Assembly Drive in Alausa area of Lagos, where a lot of youths are gathered. They are demanding, asking the government to listen to them. It's been a long day, just like he said, a lot of them. Since morning, we've gone around Ikeja, Alausa. Yes, you can see roadblock, restriction of movement. But here on this ground, right in my background, this is what you've been seeing for the past couple of days. People gathering here, they have demands to the government, and they say,
I think we lost Dare there for a second. We will try to get back to him as soon as
I have to tell you, I've been coming to this particular place for the past 1 week, and I can tell you for sure, it's been peaceful. It's been a gathering that, of course, if you come here, you will see what I'm talking about. The youths have been comporting themselves in a manner that, of course, even parents have been coming around to say, yes, we are proud of you. Keep pressing home your demands.
Thank you so much, Dare, for the updates there from the Alausa area of Ikeja, Lagos. Do continue to stay safe as the protests continue. We'll go on a short break on The World Today and still to come on the program. Welcome back to the program. The European Union wants a Brexit trade deal with Britain and will work until the last minute to get any fair agreement, though not at any cost. That's according to the European Commission Vice President Maros Sefcovic. Negotiations broke down on Thursday when the European Union demanded that Britain shifts ground. Issues still to be resolved include fair competition rules, dispute resolution and fisheries.
Underline that we just concluded a very constructive meeting with the Chancellor Michael Gove. We focused very much on proper and timely implementation of the withdrawal agreement. This morning we've been focusing on the citizens' rights, and I think that we are progressing very well, and I'm sure that by the end of the year we can put the minds of UK and EU national at ease so that the settlement schemes will be ready. Of course, we will definitely focus on achieving good agreement between the EU and UK, as we underline that it has to be fair agreement for both sides. We are not going to sign agreement at any cost, but we will have the discussion between the chief negotiators this afternoon, and the European Union is ready to work until the last minute for the good agreement for both parties.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, health ministry officials in Belgium say the country could soon be overwhelmed by new COVID-19 infections amid soaring case numbers. The ministry says that new cases are close to a tsunami where authorities no longer control what's happening. New measures to try to halt the spread came into force on Monday. All bars and restaurants are closed for up to 4 weeks. Infection numbers are climbing throughout Europe, prompting new restrictions across the continent. Meanwhile, Wales will impose a 2-week firebreak lockdown from Friday, October 23rd, in which everyone, apart from essential workers, must stay at home to combat an accelerating second wave of the COVID-19 outbreak. First Minister Mark Drakeford says that he understands that people are tired of COVID-19 restrictions, but that the imposition of rules is essential as critical care units are already full.
We have now reached the difficult decision to introduce a 2-week firebreak starting at 6 p.m. on Friday this week. Between Friday the 23rd of October and the 9th of November, everyone in Wales will be required to stay at home. This means working from home wherever that is possible, and the only exceptions will be critical workers and jobs where working from home is simply not possible. All non-essential retail, leisure, hospitality and tourism businesses will close, just as they had to during the March lockdown. Community centres, libraries and recycling centres will close. Places of worship will be closed for normal services other than for funerals or wedding ceremonies.
So let's check out the latest developments from other countries in our global COVID-19 update report.
Madrid, the worst affected region by coronavirus in Spain, remains on Monday under partial lockdown and a state of emergency invoked by the central government on October the 9th. Reuters TV footage showed citizens going about their businesses as usual in the city centre, while people queued to enter a primary healthcare centre in the Bilbao neighbourhood and ambulances brought patients to 12 de October Hospital. Under the state of emergency, all non-essential travel in and out of the city and nearby towns is not allowed, but businesses including restaurants and bars are allowed to remain open. Russia's daily tally of coronavirus cases surged to a new record high on Monday, October the 19th, pushing the national case total to over 1.4 million since the pandemic began. Authorities reported 179 deaths in the last 24 hours, bringing the official death toll to 24,366. The 5 countries reporting the most deaths in Europe are the United Kingdom with 43,429, Italy with 36,427, Spain with 33,775, France with 33,134, and Russia, according to a Reuters tally. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has wished his Health Minister Zweli Mkhize speedy recovery after contracting the coronavirus. Mr. Mkhize and his wife tested positive for the coronavirus on Sunday and are self-isolating at home. He's the 5th cabinet minister to catch the virus in South Africa. South Africa has been the worst hit by the pandemic in Africa. It has to date confirmed more than 703,793 coronavirus cases, with 18,471 deaths recorded. In India, states of Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and Sikkim partially reopened schools on Monday after over 6 months of coronavirus lockdown, as cases continue to rise daily across the country. Last month, the federal government had issued guidelines allowing states to decide to gradually reopen schools, colleges and other educational institutions from October the 15th at 50% capacity, adhering to the COVID-19 safety measures.
And so South Africa is also in the news for a different reason. It appears you no longer have to fly to France for the best croissants, because a Cape Town patisserie has been named as one of the 4 in the world to produce the best ones. This accolade is from the international magazine Food and Wine USA. Other top rankings can be found in Paris, Tokyo, Melbourne, and now Cape Town.
A Cape Town luxury cafe has left pastry lovers salivating for more since being recently recognized as one of the world's best croissant bakeries by a well-respected culinary publication, Food and Wine USA. Coco Safar, situated in the city's upmarket Sea Point, opened 5 years ago and has had many tourists and locals coming through its doors.
At the tip of Africa, where it was unthinkable to deliver products that's at the level of Paris and Tokyo and New York, we're now in a position where we're actually delivering that, training local people at levels that you expect in Paris. And a couple of weeks ago, we were recognized as one of the 4 best croissant producers in the world, and by default bakery.
The owner added that the acknowledgement places his cafe right among the best in the world, and that includes an award-winning Parisian bakery.
We're competing on a global scale now, and for us as local pastry or as a local bakery, it's quite an achievement.
Cape Town has been regularly recognized for its fine dining, with restaurants such as Wolfgart, Test Kitchen and La Colombe named amongst the world's 50 best restaurants. Coco Safar will be rolling out in selective major capitals, including New York, Paris, London and Tokyo, to name a few.
Well, the taste is definitely in the eating. That's it on The World Today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Joker Rogers.